let me now invite our chief guest of today's program, Dr. Rajendra Kumar, once again for his insight on this topic. I know he might be finding it repetition, but he has got so wealth of information with us that there is no limit to it. So let me once again invite Dr. Rajendra Kumar on this stage, please.
Okay, so all the distinguished invited on dais, all the participants present here. So since we are focusing on the topic of digital empowered citizens through governance, so let me just mention further to what I talked about in my morning speech. So when we talk about transforming governance focused on citizen services, so far the model that we have seen in India, I didn't mention this, so I can mention this now because this is the vision that we want to achieve when we talk about citizen governance. So far the model that we have followed in India across all the states is that government departments, they digitize one service, they put it online, and then that online portal or the website that has a section for creating a user profile where you fill information, then request for a service, the department verifies your eligibility. Now even that is online in most cases, but this is the most usual format. Now how about going to the next step? So let me just lay out a scenario where it will help you understand what really we should be aiming at. How about government departments discovering that as a citizen, I am eligible for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 services. Then without my applying, the government departments reach out to me, the citizen, and tell the citizen that you are eligible for these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 services, and this is available to you. You can avail through this portal without the need to fill forms multiple times or giving same information again and again. That would ease out a whole host of issues. Right now, even with the online portals coming for most of the services that government departments provide, both at the central level and a state level, still we have a huge number of people who are unable to discover that they can go at this particular portal and apply and avail that service. So one is lack of information. The other is there is simply no knowledge with them that they can avail this benefit under this scheme or that scheme. So how do you address this problem? So this concept of what we are calling proactive governance, the idea is that today most government departments have data with them through which, about citizens, through which they can discover the eligibility of the concerned citizens through the database that they already have. If departments don't have database, then we need to enable a proactive data sharing framework which will allow this discovery of services to happen and this proactive governance to become a reality. So this is very briefly what I want to talk about, and this is actually the vision to which we are trying to reach in METI. And some states, we have seen some elements of this happening. But at a national level, we need to lay out this entire framework and ensure that we reach this stage in the next few years. So for data sharing, I mentioned what do we need for this to happen? One is that we need to allow government departments to do data sharing about schemes, about citizens, about beneficiaries that they have collected through the schemes that they implement so far. So this data sharing framework, we have published a new draft rule, which some of you may be aware. That is right now in the public consultation phase. We had just last week a consultation daily under the chair of our Honorable MOS, where we heard the views of all the stakeholders, including government departments and industry, etc., as to how this data sharing can be really enabled in a proactive framework. where government departments at the back end, they can share data about schemes, about beneficiaries. And then we need to, so once this data sharing framework is available, that legal framework, already we have NDSAP, that is National Data Sharing and Access Framework. This is METI and DST framework, which was notified in 2010, under which we have developed the Open Government Data Portal. But now we need to modernize that to really allow government departments to be able to do what I described. So this is one element of this puzzle that, or this exercise that we are trying to put in place. Already we are quite a bit ahead in this entire thing. Second, we need to ensure that the data that is now available through their own databases and through this sharing framework that I just mentioned, this data can be proactively analyzed. We can apply algorithms, maybe advanced algorithms, emerging technologies like AI, etc. And then we can glean information which will allow the government departments to really discover the eligibility of the people based on various factors, their age, their income level, community status, their residential status, their life events. So for example, today, a child is born. So automatically, I enroll that child in Aadhaar ecosystem. So digital ID is ready. After maybe a year or so, the child becomes eligible for Anganwadi services. So that data is there in the Anganwadi database. So they proactively inform the parents or the family that you can send your child to this Anganwadi center. The child attains the age of 5, so he or she is ready for school. So again, you proactively inform that your child can go to this school, you are residing in this place, please admit the child to this school. The child has to get health services, for example, immunization. So right now, again, the main framework is that the family or the parents have to bring the child to the healthcare center, PSC, get immunized. They are given some card, physical card, again, that is noted on which date you get what. Now, all this can be delivered proactively. And in most cases, even today, we find that many parents are not able to keep up with the dates for immunization because either there is no information, knowledge, awareness, they forget also sometimes. So all this can be avoided through this simple change in the overall approach that we currently are having. So why I'm saying all this, if you scan the e-governance landscape across the world in most developed countries, some countries this concept has already been implemented. Estonia is one example where you can see on your on their portal as to how they have done it. So there, the idea is that based on life events of an individual from birth till his entire life, the eligibility for different services is discovered proactively, and he is informed that you should do this, and get this service. Go to school, go to healthcare service, get immunized, go to college, or all kinds of things can be done. So this is, in a nutshell, what we really want to do, and this can be done. Again, I mentioned in the morning about the power of technology. If we can really apply the power of digital technologies to this entire initiative that I just mentioned, then this is very much possible, and we should actually move to this level of maturity in terms of delivering citizen services to the people. Already we are working with our own METI organizations, NIC, etc., and CDAC and other entities to really ensure that this can be taken up as a major national framework. Data sharing framework I mentioned, we are putting in place. We have the IT infra already. We have a very major cloud platform which was initiated some 7-8 years ago called Meghraj, through which all the government departments, we are encouraging them to host their applications, data, etc. State governments, in the past, we have funded them to create IT infra, create networks, etc. So all this has to be used to really ensure that the applications that the departments develop, they use this approach for ensuring that no one is left behind. The idea is that every person, when we say that the people in this particular qualification criteria are eligible, then everyone must get that scheme. We need not leave it to the people to discover, become aware, read, or approach a government department or approach somebody to get that benefit. That should not be the case. We should actually, being a proactive government, we should actually be able to discover through this power of digital technologies as to how best we can implement the schemes. Already this concept is there in some form in our DBT schemes, for example, direct benefit transfer, where proactively government is giving transfers of whatever benefits through this digital platform with Aadhaar, then mobile and bank accounts. This needs to be expanded to cover the entire ecosystem, and that's where we are aiming at. And in that, again, my request to everyone is that we must bring all the states on board, because states are the place, I mean, they are the level at which all the services are actually delivered to the people, states and local government. So this has to happen, and this, if we can reach this level of maturity in our citizen services, then using the power of technology, then I think we will really be able to claim that we are a successful government in terms of ensuring that our schemes are implemented with the intent that they were designed for, and with the target beneficiaries or people in mind who all can be served, not based on the issue that I mentioned. So I think this is where we want to reach, and this is where we all should strive now towards attaining this vision. Thank you.